So as preppers, we've heard of a billion different ways to get emergency medications to stockpile for disasters where there is no doctor around. Maybe your hospital's overwhelmed, maybe your doctor is just not there, maybe there's a disaster so big that your hospital can't help you because it's in disrepair or knocked down. So what Jase Medical has done is use the advances made in telemedicine over the pandemic. So now you have the ability to remain safe and healthy when there is no doctor or no hospital, and you can't get help otherwise. Now remember, a small cut can turn into an infection, a toothache can go into some kind of major infection in your mouth or your face, a transmittable disease can make your life absolutely miserable. So now with Jase Medical, you can purchase antibiotics for emergency use that are prescribed by a licensed physician and dispensed by a U.S. pharmacy, and that is really a game changer for us preppers. The company's based out of Utah, and the first of its kind in the world, and they're on a mission to help you be more medically prepared. So, not a prepper? You may be watching this and think, preppers are crazy. Why would I need that? Well, you're not alone. There's a lot of people who aren't preppers. But the reality is, prepper or not, we're all at risk. And actually, it's really not risk, it's vulnerability. We've become unusually vulnerable in some scary ways. Imagine a world with broken access to medicines for you and your doctors. The last major pharma manufacturing operation closed its doors and left the United States in 2004. Now, since then, nearly all the active ingredients for antibiotics and chronic medications, even vitamins, are produced overseas, some in China and India. So if you think about it, you think supply chains, okay? Over the last year, we've seen the repeated failure of supply chains in our stores. We've seen shortages of food, items for cars, electronic components. So you think of that, and you think your life, what would it mean for your life if you couldn't secure the most basic of simple medications? Now, at the turn of the century, the leading cause of death were infectious diseases like pneumonia and cholera. Now, it's cancer and heart disease. Well, what changed? The answer is pretty simple. Basic antibiotics have changed the world. So when the lives and the lives of your family members right now are built on this sophisticated medical platform, if that platform goes away due to whatever, natural disaster, supply chain problems, what would life look like? It'd be pretty rough, pretty bad. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you what comes with this kit and let you know of the process. This isn't just going online and ordering stuff unprescribed. You're going to actually go through a medical screening with a licensed physician online using telemedicine, and you will be able to pick up anything you need. Now, Jase Medical's done its homework, okay? They've established a nationwide network of physicians trained to evaluate individual needs, assess conditions, and give you appropriate prescriptions for emergency and preparedness medication. These medications will become life-saving for you and the people you care about, and it's all done online through the Jase Medical portal. You're going to log on, begin your consult. You'll find a simple, user-friendly experience. I had no problem doing it myself. And in a little over 5 minutes, you'll be all done. And in a few days, your Jase case will be delivered to your front door. Now, what's in the case? All right, I have them kind of turned sideways because my name's on them because they're real prescriptions. And a word of note when you get your meds. You will get all the meds within a few days. This case here that comes with it, again, due to supply chain problems, might be 3 to 5 days after you get your meds. So don't worry if this shows up in this little envelope here. You will get your case right after that. So don't worry about that. You'll get it. What I like about the case is it gives you room to store any other chronic medications, and we'll get into chronic medications in a sec. They do that. We'll get into, what they'd be for. You have a nice back here that you can open up. I had it open. And what I've done is I've stuck the guide in there. And this is another very nice feature of this. Not only will you get the medications, but you'll get a guide on how and when to use them. So you're going to have doctor's support there the whole time. You're actually getting real prescription medications, and you're going to hear all the things that you want to use each medication for, and the dosages. That's really important. You could go online and buy these from some foreign country, foreign company. You could use pet antibiotics, but again, you don't know the dosages. You don't know which prescriptions will work for what. And you're really kind of taking a risk because there's a lot of companies out there that take advantage of people looking to stock up medication. Jase Medical does not, and that's a really nice thing to have. So let's go through really quick. I'm going to show you the stuff. We're going to start off with this here. I just want to cover my information. You guys all know my name. But there you go. This is azithromycin, 250 milligram tablets. Okay? And you see, this is a legitimate pharmacy here. Okay? Over here, you're going to get, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right, metronidazole. There you go. It's a substitute for Flagyl. Okay? Next up, you will get Cipro, 500 milligram tablets of Cipro. Okay? And after that, you're going to get amoxicillin. Okay? And you get a good amount of this stuff here. So the interesting part about this is you're going to find out where all this stuff is coming from when you look at where your antibiotics are made. Most of them are made out of the country. Even if the actual antibiotic is not manufactured out of the country, the active ingredient that makes it work is manufactured out of the country. So that's what you're going to get. Okay? Along with this guide, I really, really like that fact that that this stuff is safe and secure. It's actually prescribed by a doctor, and you're getting real stuff, and you're getting quite a bit of it too. For a long-term emergency, this will definitely take care of yourself or possibly a loved one. Now, let's face it, all medications carry some level of risk, but these 5 antibiotics were selected for their effectiveness and optimal patient safety. They'll also check to see if you have any allergies or any kind of contradictions with any medications you're taking, along with these antibiotics. Now, as I mentioned, you get this awesome little guide here, and this will walk you through some of the possibilities for why you'd be taking these, things like anthrax, bite wounds, cellulitis, diverticulitis, intra-abdominal infections, ear infections, pneumonia, strep throat, urinary tract infections. The list is endless of all the things that this could really, really help you out with. So the idea is when you have an emergency and don't have direct access to a healthcare provider, usually during some kind of major disaster, grid down scenario, something like that, you can use these medications safe and effectively. Now, I mentioned chronic conditions before, and I want to talk about that for a second because Jase Medical also takes care of your chronic conditions as well as your antibiotics. So they're prepared with their physician network to assess your condition, and if you have a need for any kind of preparedness medications like, say, cholesterol medication, heart medication, whatever else that you want to stock up on ahead of time, you can do that using Jase Medical, and they will be prescribed to you. Now, we're going to talk about shelf life for a second. The FDA Shelf Life Extension Program found that 88% of all the drugs studied maintain their potency way beyond their expiration date. And trust me, folks, I've taken expired antibiotics when I had a flu or infection. Mostly what I get is sinus infections. And when I take them, I know, hey, this thing is about 2 years past its expiration date, but they work when they need to. And I know which ones to take because I remember when I was younger, I was prescribed these for when I had a sinus infection. But with this now, I have a way to be totally secure knowing that everything I'm buying is legit, on the up and up, prescribed by a doctor from an American pharmacy, and I know the stuff is real. The last thing you want to do is find out you got ripped off at the last minute during a disaster and the Cipro you bought really is just a bunch of baby aspirin. So it's really handy to know that you've got all this stuff. Now, what we were talking about was the shelf life of these things, and we found that 88% of the drugs, again, maintain their potency and safety way beyond the expiration date. The extended usability of most of these medications range from like 5.5 years to 23 years beyond their printed expiration dates. My goal is keep them cool, dark, and dry. My storeroom is always the coldest room in the house. It's not freezing, but it's colder than the rest of the house. And where I'm going to be keeping these with my medical stuff is also a very dark, dry environment. So nothing's going to go bad with, moisture or heat or sun beating on it. Really, also, too, sun is the enemy of these. If you keep these open, you'll notice they're in opaque jars. And there's a reason for that. The sun beating down on them will lessen their efficacy over time. So at the end of the day, it's about peace of mind knowing that you're ready for the unexpected. Understanding that you found a solution priced at a fraction of what it would normally cost you adds to that peace of mind. Now, the cost for this kit, some people are going to freak out here. It's around $260. But remember, you're paying for a doctor visit to get all this. You're doing it online, but it is a legitimate doctor visit, telemedicine doctor visit, that you're paying for online. So not only are you paying for the medications, and yeah, you could go and buy them online from some unknown pharmacy in some foreign country and pray that they're the right stuff when you need them, but you're getting stuff right here that's prescribed to you that they know is legitimate and good stuff. So if you're looking to get yourself some legitimate antibiotics for emergencies, and these are the 5 big ones here, this is the way to go, I feel. I'm going to probably be doing some ordering of other things in the future, but this is definitely something that I feel would be very, very beneficial to a new prepper. And let's face it, $260 is not a lot of money for peace of mind. So I really can't complain about that. And the chronic medications, as I said before, if you have any kind of condition that requires you to take medications long term, they do that, again, with a doctor consultation online. They have a 6-month and a yearly thing you can set up with them. So the website's jasemedical.com. You can go there. When you do go there, don't forget to mention Iridium 242 sent you. And I think you'll be very pleased at the service that you get from them. The only thing that took a couple of days after was the case itself, and I mean, let's face it, you can always put these in something else. I like the case, and I like the fact that it has extra room. Bottles fit in here perfectly, okay? And let's say I need to take cholesterol medication. So not only do I have all my antibiotics in here and my azithromycin in here, but I could also have room for any other medication that I take, even stuff that I take from my doctor. You know, I can put it in here as an emergency supply. I also have the back here. Lots of room on the back to put things in. Even if you want to turn this into a little first aid kit, you know, like a boo-boo kit along with your serious antibiotics, definitely good stuff. So that is Jase Medical. I really am glad I could bring it to you guys. I really appreciate you guys watching the video, and I hope you guys will take advantage of this. I feel this is something that just changes the game completely for preppers. I'm sure we're all guilty of buying fish meds and, you know, things like that in the past. But if you want a reliable, honest-to-goodness, legitimate supply of antibiotics, legally and safely, this is the way to do it. Anyway, folks, I will put the link down below.